Great. And now I can turn off / talk to myself.
Nice.
Now I have to talk to people.
You don't have to.
I kind of do.
You can just be quiet the entire time.
It'd
Be a
very
very
hard to
tough
DM.
session,
Mm-hmm.
but you can do
No,
it.
I want to DM by soundboard.
Oh, that'd be pretty sweet.
I just
At
want to
least
have like 500 stories recorded. I'll push a button.
Just don't DM by emoji. I'm really bad at that game.
Ooh.
Can you turn on your webcam? Can you DM by charades?
You know, I was actually thinking about that of like, I feel like I should have my camera on because there's enough times where I'm like emoting with my whole body. And then I thought, nah, actually, I don't need the stream to see like 4 times of my fingers at my nose. All right, well, now that I've put that into the universe, hey, let's start with a good recap. And I'm pretty sure it's not my turn. So I'm going to politely ask somebody to review what we did last time.
We
Oh,
killed
it's
that
a
chick.
good session.
Yeah, we just
Yeah,
killed someone,
we
right?
killed her.
That was actually the majority of it. Was we had the second half of that combat. That was a weird fight too.
Yeah, we almost lost the entire party, if memory serves.
Mm-hmm.
But Holden got the last kill, and capped her in the noggin.
Yeah,
Coup de grace.
we had an execution, and you know what? Probably okay.
I have in my notes only 3 bullet points. The battle rages on, and Holden carries us to victory. The
Mhm.
god of vicious betrayal, Savamore, is applying to the Pantheon. And we brought Rare and Telemar up to date and ended the session leveling to 7 and getting ready for tomorrow's feast.
Yeah, that mostly covers it because really, the only things that we did in this session were you guys had your combat, and then everybody just like slept for a day and a half because it was a rough one, even for Holden, who did make it through.
Oh yeah, and then Sphinx guy gave us a
Mhm.
riddle.
Yeah, because you know he's a Sphinx and he can't just tell you things.
Wait, did he
It's
give
against
you
the rules.
Did he give you the riddle? Who had the private session? Was that last game? Didn't someone have a private session?
That would be me.
Okay, Rayun had. Okay. Sorry, I
Yeah.
didn't specifically remember the riddle and I didn't write it down, so.
That was one of those things where I said it, and then like 5 minutes later, somebody asked what it was, and I was like, hold on, I'll just write it down for you. So you guys
Okay.
should all have that in your journals now.
Oh, perfect. Okay, great.
Let me check.
If it's not right on top, then I
The
screwed that up.
prophecy. Nope, it's here.
Yeah.
You will stop
Great.
2 to save 1. You will slay 4 to stop 1.
Nice.
He also just like spent a lot of that conversation going, I can't believe I have to put my trust into you, human, but you better not screw this up. Mentioned things like, listen, there's things I can't do, and you have to do them.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So, once you guys woke up from your long slumber, fully healed and healthy and hale, the party split up. Actually, no. The first thing that happened was the dinner bell. You guys had your call with Celebron, and everybody talked to him, and he was like, so I figured out all this deity stuff that you guys are dealing with, and you might be looking for the goddess of vicious betrayals, Savamore. She's an upstart goddess, hasn't actually entered the Pantheon yet, but, you know, the name's pretty bad, so keep an eye out, I guess. Good luck. Then...
And we think that it's Savi. I think. Mira thinks that it's Savi, because she's got it out for that witch.
A lot of
we
people
don't think,
have said
we
that,
know it's Sabi.
I think that was even like an accusation that you guys put out there.
Which is why
to
Rayun went to talk to Telemar.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So he went to talk to Telemar, and we had a private conversation that I'm going to be honest was lovely, and a little bit of information got out, and the rest of the party went and talked to the guildmaster, and that conversation was pretty much you guys trying to decide what to do. And the answer was, well, we're not going to cancel the feast, but we are going to have everybody on high alert. All of the culinarians that we can are going to be ready to fight, and it's just going to be a little more tense of a feast than we were all expecting. You guys actually now have in your quest log his official request for save the feast. I did a little bookkeeping and got us up to date. So we ended the last session expressly saying, all right, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to walk right into the feast. So after, I think we've been doing this campaign for like 2 years, let's get ready for the God's Feast. Finally.
When did actually we start this campaign? Was it 2022?
It's been a while.
Was it like October 2022?
To the YouTube.
That sounds right.
comment. YouTube.
Oh, right. Yeah, we have a record. Man, the fact that we have an archive for this is still blowing my mind.
Okay, according to our God's Feast campaign playlist. Oops, I accidentally played the videos instead of the campaign. Hold on. The first video was 2 years ago on, where's the date? April 15th, 2022.
Wow.
Dang. So we're
Yes,
past 2
sirs.
years.
Okay.
We have passed
Well,
2 years.
when I thought it was October, I was thinking, man, we're
DMing
gonna.
for us for more than 2 years.
And I'm happy to have done it, but I'm looking at this going, I'm going to try and land this campaign, and I was thinking I might be able to finish this in 2 years. Whoops. That's okay.
Yeah,
That's
but
like
if you
saying,
don't
oh, I think
count
I
the
get this homework done.
cancellations, like we had a couple of missed weeks.
Oh yeah, totally.
We had more than a couple.
Yeah.
We had a lot. But that's okay. We're all adults, and the fact that we've made this many sessions work is just fine.
Mm-hmm.
So, you guys have been like semi-bedridden for the last couple days. You have not gone back to Ranmar's lab because you've been effectively sequestered in the Culinarian Guild's medical wing, where they have taken just phenomenal care of you. Like, there is no hospital food in the Culinarians Guild. That would be a sin. You're getting real food that heals you. So by the time you are released to go, you walk out of the medical wing, and the entirety of Allers Hall is just lit up with excitement. These halls are packed with people. Guests, servants, culinarians, hunters, telemarians, a few notable faces, and it is like it's almost tough to get through these hallways. There's so many people, and this is a pretty big building. There's a lot of hallways. Pretty much everyone is jammed. You have a little bit of time before it starts. I'm gonna say, just for the sake of throwing numbers out, so we have something to base this off of. I don't know. It's something like 11 o'clock, with the feast starting around 1. So you have a tiny bit of time, but with the traffic you've got, it's going to be rough to get too much done before this feast starts. So I should ask, is there anything that you want to do? Anybody to check in with? Any side quests that you might want to attend to before we pass the point of no return?
Gotta check in with Raculin.
I love when RPGs say, this is the point of no return. Do all of your side quests, stupid.
Gotta check in with Raculin to tell him about the taste testing.
That's right. That is totally a thing that nobody else knows about. That's hilarious.
Do we have any more tokens to spend?
You have 2 requisitions credits. Oh, which I just realized I've had list written down this whole time, and I just never made it available to everybody. Hold on. I got so many random handouts that are just for me. I forgot that that one was supposed to be for everybody. And then also it seems like Holden has something to do. Oh yeah, Holden probably has to revive Glitch. That's probably important.
Yeah.
Figure we could do that off camera. It just takes an hour. One thing that I do want to do though is end. I'm allowed to have 3 infused items. I'm going to end my infusion on the Cloak of Elvenkind, which I still have yet to successfully use in the game, and instead empower my spell Refueling Ring, which I will give to Mira. Once per day as an action, she can use it to regain a spell slot up to level 3.
Well, that seems really good. Plus, there's a really nice scene of Holden pulling Mira aside and handing her a ring with absolutely no meaning behind it.
Oh, it's inferred.
Should we check in with the Blood Assassin guy and see if the contract on Primrose is no longer functional since we killed
Heck,
What's-her-face?
yes, we should.
hmm
I like that that's the exact opposite of the ring.
Also,
I'm just gonna spoil the mood and be like, he's handing her a ring, and I'm be like, hey, should we go check in with your other boy toy?
See if he needs holes in his head.
Yeah. Maybe he can give us some money or some cool stuff, gadgets, blood gadgets. I don't know.
What kind of cool rings does he have?
Yeah, what kind of cool rings does he have? Does he have a blood ring, maybe?
or maybe an Elden Ring.
Oh, I'm going to spoil. He does not have the Elden Ring.
Oh, dang it.
It's fair.
I don't even have the Elden Ring.
Weapons on the requisitions. Under the requisitions, they're like 3, right? Like 3 credits are required.
It depends. If it doesn't list it, it is 1. If it does list it, it is the number of credits listed. So Fury Reaver, the one that you were hoping to save up for, costs 3 and you have 2.
Rainbow Rapier?
No, there's no requirement on that, so that would just be 1.
Guys, can I use it?
I mean, if we're going into the feast, though, do you have time to have it made? Historically, they've taken, a day or more to craft.
Well-
Everything in the requisitions department has been, we have these things on hand, or if there's something else that you want, we can custom make it, but that will take some time.
Copy that.
So I guess I'll also go to the requisitions and pick this thing up.
Okay, walk me through where you guys are going, because you do have you're on a bit of a time crunch here.
Racklin for me, and then
I'll go to the requisition to pick up the item for him.
Okay.
I love it. Let's split the party.
We'll just do everything at the same exact time and then meet up 15 minutes before the feast begins.
I mean, here's the thing, as a meme, splitting the party sucks, but this is what 4 real adults would do. Is like, oh, we have 2 hours and everybody wants to do something else. Let's just meet up in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to write this down so I don't screw this up. I have Rayun going to Racklin.
Mhm.
I have Tyrus going to requisitions. And the other 2, what are you up to?
I think we're gonna go see if Primrose is safe. So we'll go talk to My buddy. 1, to make sure he's okay. 2, to make
Mhm.
sure that he's watching our back when we go to the feast.
Okay. All right. Let's start with you guys because I like to start where there are the most people. Your intuition is, hey, I gotta figure out where he is. And this is not the first time that you've thought, I wonder where Mortavio is. And the answer is, oh, he's really close.
Hmm.
Where is that? Mira, you get the image in your head of a sort of like like a meeting room, a conference room, we'll go with. And it's somewhere in Allers Hall. Like you kind of feel where it's at. It's somewhere on the basement level.
All right, then that's where we'll head.
Fantastic. As mentioned, it does take a while. Like, navigating these halls just sucks. When you finally get to... Yeah, that'll work. When you finally find this side room, it ends up being sort of like a storage room / kitchen. Like, we're just going to keep a bunch of extra equipment here, and I guess also you can make a pizza if you want. Waiting for you right as you walk in, like as you open the door, you hear that same voice as before saying, Songbird, welcome in to, I suppose, my office away from home. Now bring everybody here, I don't care. And he's just sitting on a counter, jovially waiting for you. He is dressed to the nines, like the finest in red silks and golds. And he's so overjoyed that he's kind of like kicking his feet. He's so excited, his hands drumming on his knees. And he looks at you as, I'm so glad to see you're up and well. Of course, I assumed you would be up and well, and I dare say I'm glad to see you're well. And it's good to see you too, Holden, of course.
What are you up to down here?
Well, I had to get into the feast somehow. I have my invitation, but simply getting through the front doors is proving to be too difficult. But I have a few ways that I can get into this building. So I thought it would be easier to simply sneak my way in, and if anybody challenges me, I'll show them my invitation and chastise them until they leave me alone.
That seems like a good plan. I was coming because we wanted to see if you knew whether or not the contract had been canceled.
Yes, Primrose. I am happy to report that I am no longer bound by that contract. She is safe.
And do I have your word that you will no longer seek to harm her?
He holds his hands to his chest. Songbird, I'm a bit insulted. Now that there's no contract, I have no reason to, and despite his predilections, I'm no wanton murderer. As far as I'm concerned, she is a friend of yours, so she is a friend of mine.
I'll take it. I'm happy to hear that the contract has been canceled. Our next big plan is to take on Savi, the Herald of Telemar. Will you have my back there as well?
You do not hunt small targets. I will certainly be there. I would not miss the feast for the world. and I don't see why I couldn't offer you my support. We are at this point boon companions.
That
I dare say in the future we will travel the ways as a party. Oh, how quaint is that?
Then we shall see you at the feast. Thank you for putting us at ease. We'll give Primrose the good news.
He jumps off of the counter so that he can give you a very deep bow and says, "Of course. I will see both of you momentarily. I can't wait. It's going to be lovely." Let's move to Rayun. Let's see how well I can do this transition. Rayun, you make your way to Racklin's office, and I'm gonna be honest, this sucks. Like, I've been in San Francisco rush hour traffic before. It feels like that, except bodies.
Oh.
So by the time you actually get to Racklin's office, like, I'm not joking, you've probably spent 30 minutes just walking in these halls trying to get there. Like, you are late for your flight. And gosh dang, if TSA would just hurt, would you just put your shoes back on and get out of my way? But, you know, you get there eventually. By the time you get to Racklin's office, thankfully, Racklin's office itself is fairly quiet. And so you arrive, and he is largely readying himself to go. Like, dusting up his jacket, like buttoning everything up, tightening his cuffs. He looks like it's go time. All right, it's feast day. Let's do it. You enter though, and he kind of perks up. So, hello, Rayun. I'm glad to see you.
It's good to see you too, Racklin.
I will admit, we were getting a little close to the feast. I was worried I might have to take you a doggy bag.
Well, it'll be interesting, to say the least. I do have a request of you.
Of course, we've gone this far. What's one more request between friends?
Would you mind being the official taste tester for Telemar?
He is in the middle of adjusting his collar, and you say that, and he kind of accidentally over-tightens it and chokes a little bit. But by the time he comes to his senses, perhaps I heard you wrong. You want me to be Telemar's taste tester?
Precisely.
There's got to be someone else.
I trust nobody more than you.
They're all too valuable.
Wow.
Oof.
Oh.
Damn. He actually sits down on his desk, like on the edge of it, and this is Rayun. I'm honored. I will certainly do my best. I'm assuming you've run this by the guildmaster or someone.
I ran it by Telemar.
Ha! Well, that will surely be good enough. I wonder who the taster was going to be before this.
To my knowledge, nobody.
Well, that seems ill-conceived. Glad you were on top of it, Rayun.
Yeah, and if you need extra assistance, I will be there to assist in any way.
Well, of course you will. Everybody in plenty is going to be at this feast from the way it sounds. I can't get 10 minutes to clear my head without somebody traipsing by the office.
If you sense that there's something amiss, I can purify food and drink as necessary.
Of course. I'll keep that in mind. Although I don't suppose you're going to be purifying 20-something dishes.
No.
All right.
Just one.
Then I will keep an eye out, just in case. The Guildmaster's already quietly mentioned to most of the administrators that we are to keep an eye out in case anything's amiss, but I will be a little extra careful, especially if Telemar's taste buds are on the line. Well, we don't have too much time. Should we head to the feast, or is there anything else you need to do?
I gotta meet back up with the team, and then we'll head in. That's about it.
Very good. Then I'll see you there.
See you there, Recklin. And we both walk out of the office awkwardly.
And then don't go anywhere for a few minutes because there's people in the way.
Oh.
And this is as awkward as it could possibly be.
Are you doing the whole like, awkward scenario? They're like, "Oh, you're going this way? Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that." And then you just small talk until it gets quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Except it lasts for like 10 minutes because the traffic's so bad.
And then you pull out your phone and you're just like pretending you're texting someone, so you don't have to talk to them anymore.
You pull out a rock and start talking into it. Rayun, I know that's not a sending stone.
Yeah, it is. Get me out of here.
All right. Let's move over to Tyrus real fast. I imagine this one might be a little quicker. But hilariously, we've pretty much been using... actually, do I have something for this? Am I so prepared? No. Dang. All right, well, we're going to go back to this one. It's amazing. I actually have scenes for most of this. I'm really proud of that. Holden, you... Nope, not Holden. Tyrus, you make your way down to Requisitions, which actually is like maybe the quietest place here, because at this point, man, if you don't have what you need, it's too late for administrators to make something for you. So they're largely just like shuffling supplies out of the Requisitions to be sent up to the feast or wherever it needs.
Did you change scenes?
Nope, I was just about to.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Right now.
Nice.
The trick is, I've gone to the scene first, and I've had to send everybody that's not there to the GM layer so that you can't see them. But by the time you get there, like it doesn't even have the usual crowd in front of the desk like you've seen before. It's just there's a couple of desks. There's like 2 or 3 culinarians carrying large boxes or pallets of stuff. And administrator, you can't see Asha because she usually works in the back, and that's probably safer for everybody. But Geralt is there, mostly just directing people as to where to go. He is in the middle of telling somebody to take something upstairs to the feast when he points to the front door and sees you, and actually it kind of stops. Oh! Well, Tyrus, that's strange. I wasn't expecting many visitors. Sorry. Just had to get my bearings. Come on in.
Hey, I'm just doing some last-minute shopping for the feast.
Well, you better shop quick. We don't have much time before it. I probably have something up here, unless... Well, no, I'm out of pythons. So, what are you in the market for?
I was picking up for Rayun to see if he had that rainbow rapier still available.
Let me... Yeah. He turns around and shouts out, "Hey, Asha! The rainbow rapier!"
Actually, would you guys by chance have the Fury Reaper available? I'm a little short on credits, but I'm good for it later on.
He turns to you and actually really appraises you when you say that. Listen, Tyrus, we've done business a few times, but I don't think I can just be handing out things right now. The amount of paperwork I have to do just to make a requisition, Mulholland would have my horns if I tried to start giving out free samples.
I'm going to say, well, not to blow my own horn here, but we've been doing some extra work for the guild, for the guild master and everything, and we've actually saved Mulholland a bunch of paperwork, outing some bad doers within the guild. I think she might look over a single sword.
Why don't you give me I think it was a persuasion check? I'll roll. Let me do some GM rolling.
I'm going to say, and of course, I'm not looking for this for free, just at a short discount.
He gives you a long stare down. Like he is running his fingers up and down his goatee. At one point, his hand goes to the back of his head. Oh, hi, Dances. Oh my gosh, that means we have a viewer. That's great and scary.
I'm going to give the blankest stare back, by the way. Not like an expecting look or an intimidating look, just a blank stare.
He looks really hesitant at this. But he's... Listen. Hold it. Nope, not holding Tyrus. I keep doing that. Listen, Tyrus.
People.
I really shouldn't do this. We have one forged up. I'll put in the requisition like you have 3, but you need to have all 3 of those requisition credits by like the end of the day.
I'll do you one better. I'll have the guildmaster just waive the paperwork on this one.
Yeah, all right. And I'll fart out some rainbow confetti. All right. Asha comes marching up with the rapier in its sheath in her hands. Geralt turns to her and says, "Sorry, hun. You want to grab the Fury Reaper instead?" No joke. She takes the rapier by the scabbard, stomps once in rage, wheels around and hucks that thing into the warehouse. And then she stomps off to go searching for something. Geralt looks back at you and says, "Yeah, I'm going to regret that. That might be worse than Mulholland."
That one's definitely on me.
Yeah, I hope you don't mind if I blame you for that one.
Like I said, I'll come back and repay this. And then I'm not just talking about the requisition. I'll throw in some work in the back for free as well.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see you on the anvil next to Asha. See how that goes. But I won't say no to the help. Only like 30, 40 seconds later, Asha comes back. stomping hard enough that it probably should put cracks in the stone floor. She doesn't say anything to Geralt except giving him a glare that makes her eyes look like they're turning red. And she drops unceremoniously a longsword onto the counter, wrapped in some sort of linen. He nods and he leans in to try and give her a kiss on the cheek and takes a horn to the face as she turns and walks away. He goes, yeah, she's not been in a good mood the last couple of days. The feast has her a little worked up.
Tell me about it.
Do you believe we're not there?
Really?
Most of the downstairs administrators didn't get an invite. Ran out of chairs or something.
Well, if it makes us feel any better, I have a feeling I'm going to be ruining this feast for everybody, and I'm just going to grab the sword and leave.
He genuinely gives you a look as you walk out that you can't tell if it's him being entertained or horrified. But he doesn't stop you, so that's good.
And I'm going to head back to our meeting place.
Mm-hmm. We definitely have some sort of designated meeting place that we didn't talk about beforehand, but that's doable. Maybe the medical wing, maybe it's some unused classroom or something. But somewhere that everybody in a little over an hour can probably get to debrief. It's definitely... Actually, Tyrus, you get there first and then get to chill for a few minutes before Mira and Holden show up, and then Rayun is way dead last.
Yeah.
He was on the second floor and on the wrong side of the building. It was going to take forever.
I had to hop on the banister and try to scale down.
Gosh, yeah, it's so packed that it might actually be faster to try and climb up some chandelier ropes or banners or something. But yeah, you're able to reconvene and check in with everybody. And then once you do, let me know if there's anything else you want to do or if it's time to go to the feast.
I'm going to hand Rayun the Fairy Reaper and be like, here's your rainbow rapier.
Oh, gee, thanks. And then I unwrap it.
That is neither rainbow nor a rapier.
Tyrus? How?
I'm just going to nod at him.
Well, all right.
I'm about to say something that has rules implications. I got to double check myself real fast. This is one of those things I was pretty sure I knew the answer to, and then halfway through I was like, oh wait, no, I should not accidentally screw up Rayun's entire build. No, it's also not a gun.
If it's a gun, I'm holding onto it.
There's not a gun.
We've
Okay.
positioned not a gun sword.
Dang, it's not a gun sword. Great anime, by the way. Definitely watch it.
Are you messing around with my character sheet, Zell?
No, I was looking up. Apparently, Bastard Sword doesn't exist anymore. Rest in peace, dude.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
I guess it would, once they invented versatile, it kind of became pointless. So, yeah, it is a longsword.
All right, so basically the same thing that I have with my regular longsword, but +2 to the actual attack, or to the attack roll,
and special stuff. I think you have to kill something or something.
You have to level up with it.
I have to level up with it
yeah.
and gain 1d4 inches.
That joke is too easy, and we have an audience.
I was
Hi.
muted and I just made it to John, and I am very happy that we were on the same page.
Oh dear.
This is also a perfect opportunity for Holden to fix up Glitch. And then let me know. If there's anything else you want to do, I'm happy to. If not, I will push button. All right, well, since nobody said anything except me whispering to myself, dang, D12s. I'm going to temporarily move us to the landing page while I describe the scene, because I don't want to keep looking at the requisitions department. So, the entirety of this feast has been culminating to this moment. Right? Genuinely, the guild has been preparing for this for weeks. And now the celebration has arrived. Amongst all of the other people that you see walking in or out of the building, mostly in, you do see dignitaries, some from other nations even. There are definitely a few people that you recognize as being Satiri nobility. You probably catch a couple of Rilimi nobles in that, man, it's like sunny and 80 degrees. Why are you guys wearing dark clothes with hoods on? And there's a couple people from Evencall, but big freaking surprise, the Nosmans are busy still. However, there are also still a decent number of the Telemarian acolytes. They are wearing their traditional green robes that, honestly, most of them look like they've been cleaned and pressed. Like, it is a celebration. Finally, it's time for you to enter the hall proper. There is an enormous queue to get in, but it filters fairly quickly. There's about half a dozen culinarians that are checking people's invitations. And like, it's the equivalent of holding up a driver's license with a UV light, right? Like, they're putting in some effort to verify these people are who they are. Like TSA pre-check levels of security. When it finally gets to your turn, you don't have an invitation, but instead they pretty quickly let you in anyway, especially at mention that you are one of the teams. It looks like somebody has put in that you are to be let in anyway. Maybe Guildmaster's orders. So you, comparatively, you breeze right on through. And by the time you get into this hall, it is chaos. There are so many people in this hall. Tables from one end of the hall to the other. Easily hundreds of feast tables. And people from all around the world are sitting at these tables. And mingling, right? Like, the Telemarian acolytes are talking with people from Port Maria and otherwise. There are a few non-nobility that are mixed in, that are from other nations, but mostly the Rilimi or Satiri or Evencallians are up at one of the higher tables, here in the center-ish. There are also a lot of people that you can scan through the crowd and recognize. Like, this has drawn familiar faces back as well. And I'm not going to sit down and point out, like, ooh, remember this person? But it does bear mention, because you specifically asked, that down on one far corner, like way in the back, you can spot that Mortavio did make it into the feast. Very bottom right-hand corner of the screen. And is currently sitting next to, hey, they made it into the feast too. Night and Dreams and Jabix Hadalon are both here as well.
Do we see the fat mayor from that one town?
You don't.
Thank God.
I know, right?
He was a jerk.
He wasn't important enough.
He is definitely the sort of person that if he was here, you would probably notice him.
I'd punch him too.
Very possible. However, hey, also you notice there are only 4 counselors here because one is dead and one is still on the other side of the archipelago. But sitting at the high table at the very end of the hall, you do see there are the 3 primary dignitaries. There is Guildmaster Rare on one side, the Herald Savi on the other, and in the center, just like rocking back and forth side to side in his chair with excitement, is Telemar with a great big spoon and fork, one in each hand. He is ready for a feast. And for the first time that you've seen him, is like wildly energetic. All the other times he's been kind of somber, or not somber, but like kind of tired, still a little bleary-eyed. And he is ready to go now. And actually, no, sorry stream, this isn't going to play quite as well, but Sav may have accidentally found the exact GIF that's been fueling half of this campaign. For those of you watching at home, it's the GIF of Winnie the Pooh sitting in his chair waiting for the honey. Oh man, that was almost the GIF that I posted yesterday for the call to arms, and then I didn't because I was like, that's a little on the nose. More relevant for you guys is on one wall of the hall, there is a line of all of the culinarians who have participated in preparing a dish for the feast, and with them a decent number of the teams that would be there. Brandon Stafford is not there, but his culinarian is. And it looks like outside the 4 of you, maybe like a quarter of the participants, the team participants, managed to get an invite in somehow. Almost immediately, Ranmar waves you over because this place is loud. There's not a lot of good sound suppression here, and there are easily 1,000 people talking loudly, so you're going to get a wave or nothing else. And when he gets your attention and gets you over there, he says to you loud enough to get your attention, "Well, thank goodness you made it. I was worried we were going to have to hold off 22 courses. Can you believe they're making us go last?" Pelna adds, "Well, that's why I gave us a dessert." "That's not the point." "Oh, and I'm glad to see you're all healthy and doing well."
Guys, did we make the traditional English trifle from Friends that has meat and berries in it?
How are you guys reading my mind now?
I was just
good.
I was just going through the ingredients that we picked up.
Man. It's like you guys are just, you're seeing right through me to see all of my inspirations.
I'm so excited.
Please don't look at my search history. But also kind of yes.
That's amazing. Oh, it makes me so happy.
So, Racklin is also there. He looks satisfied when you walked in, as if, yeah, he knew that you guys were going to come here. He was ready for it. He adds, "I'm going to be taking my place soon, but I wanted to make sure that you made it in and, well, get you ready. The way that the feast has been put together is every dish will be announced and then served to Telemar. Once he takes a bite, the dish will be distributed to all of the guests, and I'm told that in spite of the fact that this baby here," he pats the combustion pot, "can feed a decent number, there have been some magical means to multiply the amount of food that's being delivered. So everybody gets a taste."
That's clever.
Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to go take my place because I can see that Rare is getting ready to make a speech. Ranmar shakes his head and says, "No, Rare's always getting ready to make a speech." He looks up at the lights. We've got about 20 minutes or so before the feast starts. Racklin nods. I'm going to take my place regardless. Rather be on time. And he starts... It's actually easier to maneuver through here because there are designated aisles. So he makes his way up to... Guys, I did just like track Racklin's token across the aisle when I super didn't have to. He makes his way up to the table and just like starts standing there quiet and regal like a military trained statue. Helna adds, "We do have a bit of time. You should probably, if there's anybody that you want to check in with, we'll have some time now, and the feast is going to have an intermission halfway through. After dish 11 or 12, I forget which one." Ranmar cuts in, and it's number 11. Number 12 is the charcuterie board, and they wanted the second appetizer. She nods. Right. So, after dish number 11, there will be a bit of time for everybody to stretch their legs and hopefully make some room for the next 12. And Ranmar chuckles again and says, No, dear, 13. Remember, we have 2 dishes. We broke the rules. Either way, he reaches into his apron and pulls out probably a 5x9, so like a fairly long piece of paper, and hands it to the lot of you and says, "I suppose I should give this to you just so you know what's coming. The menu."
Ooh.
And he puts this thing in all of your guys' journals because the show to players button still is kind of iffy.
Well, that's just yordle porn.
I was
Only a
just
couple
thinking,
of them.
and
Hilarious.
this is when the fact that I use pop-out windows is bad for the stream because they can't see what the menu it looks like. Hold on. I've got to turn off pop-out windows so that way we have it for posterity. Nope.
Mm-hmm.
It's
So
still
which dish are
popping
we
up.
going to go in and attack
Hey,
Sabi?
there we go.
That's a good question.
Which one sounds the best? Like, which one sounds the most like a wrestling move?
The Bullfistia?
The Bullfistia?
Yeah.
The Bullfistia?
Yeah.
I don't like Bullfistia.
There are so many of these, and I genuinely can't remember which one you're talking about.
The
number
BLS.
9. The 9?
SST.
The Bullfistia?
Oh gosh, yeah. Look, some of these I can explain most of them. Don't
Which
ask
one can't
me
you explain?
that one.
What's what's BLFSTJ stand for?
Bacon, lettuce.
Farts?
Don't ask me what the FFSJ stands for, but I definitely know there's bacon, lettuce, and tomatoes somewhere on those sandwiches.
Fries, salami, and jam.
Ooh, I like it.
You forgot the other S.
Oh, actually, yes. I did remember that the J was jam.
Jam.
Nice.
If you ask Foob, he can explain the difference between jam and jelly.
What's sad is I'm currently thinking of that joke too.
I like that we're just all hive-minding tonight. This is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I do very much like the sound of prismatic tagliatelle. That sounds delicious.
Yeah. The best part is like half of these probably have some sort of inside joke or backstory that makes them really funny to me.
I'm surprised there's not some like shrimp joke about Forrest Gump.
Nah.
Fruit floss. I also really like the sound of that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is fun. This is a very fun Crulia base.
Guys, you had a chance to work on the Crulia base.
Enchiladas.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun doing this.
Memento porridge.
That
Are you serving 2 different cold soups?
look, these guys, they didn't coordinate. Your culinarians didn't coordinate with anybody else, so it's lucky that we only have one stew.
The celestial stew.
Well, if we add everything together, it is just a stew.
Plus, I liked the word gaspacho. There was a lot of food puns here. I had a good time doing it.
Well done.
Whale
sir.
carp scale nachos.
Well done.
Number 15 was I just liked saying it, so it happened.
It's amazing, and that's the one thing that I would be very excited to try because that
Low
all
churned,
sounds
slow
delicious.
churned, 12 turned, dragon burned, ice cream, mint and coffee.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like you guys can easily spend a few minutes just looking at this menu. And not only is it fun to look at all of these, but also it's telling that all of these culinarians really dug deep for this. And also, maybe they should have organized it a little better so that the desserts were at the end, but oops.
I like number 22. Powdered air elemental core and fruit floss. Reduced to smoke. It's just smoke.
Yeah. Look, I can just, like I said, I have the background for most of these, and that one you're just going to be served a glass cloche that has a bunch of flavored smoke. Enjoy.
That's something you would definitely get at a 5-star restaurant and get charged like $70 for.
Exactly.
And all you do is just get a whiff of food.
There's going to be some snooty dude there that removes the cloche and then wafts your meal at you.
That's probably why the celestial stew is like right after it. So that way they won't be disappointed.
Yeah, you want something light and then something heavy.
Yeah.
So the offer also stands. There are a lot of people here that might be worth checking in with if that's something you want to do, if you want to wait for intermission. If you feel like trying to kill the Herald early, maybe don't wait till intermission. I don't think we actually got to a plan because we started talking about fun foods.
You guys just want to like ruin this for everybody and just go kill the Herald right now?
Let's just smoke that bitch.
Do you want to jump up on the table and accuse her?
Accuse!
Objection!
I will politely add that Rare's request slash suggestion was to let this play out and then wait for the moment that something went wrong to stop it in the act. But I can't stop you.
Hey, who are the 2 dragon people at table 4?
I was thinking that, and the side of this table is empty. Should we go and position ourselves there to sit? And then we could talk to the cat
Take
people?
spots.
Because he said that we could go and mingle and say hello. We definitely should stop by and say hello to Night and Dreams and Jabex.
I'm going to sit here at this table.
Hey DM, do I recognize any of these people?
Let me do a quick scan. Everybody that you might recognize has a name printed on them.
So these are new friends that we don't know yet.
Can I go here and sit at this table?
Yeah, you should all have access to your tokens. Feel free to move them if you would like to put yourself somewhere and jump into a conversation and or try and pick stuff up. Also, Roll20 is being a butthead and not letting me scroll easily on this map, which sucks because this map is huge.
This is a big map.
Holden and I are over with Jabex and Night and Dreams and Mortavio.
Mm-hmm. And then Tyrus and Rayun, you are with the Dragon Friends?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit down and then turn around and be like, hey, who are you?
So, before you guys say anything, I'm going to have everybody roll insight checks.
Nice. Starting off strong.
Mm-hmm.
My new favorite D&D question. I have dark vision. Can I get advantage on insight?
No, and you know what? There's enough candles that you're getting disadvantage for a second. Wow, that works out. So, I'm going to hand something to... Ooh, I almost forgot to give this to myself. I need to give this to me. Kind of. And then I need to give this to Mira. I really wish I could hit show players. That doesn't work. And I need to give this to Rayun? Is that right? Yeah, Rayun.
Yeah.
You guys should have gotten new handouts. And probably a new folder. Gosh, I hope that worked.
I don't see one.
Yeah, that's because you rolled a 4.
Nice. Just checking. Just wanted to confirm with you.
And can I confirm with either or Rayun or Mira that you do have those things I described?
Oh, I
Roger,
do have
Roger.
it.
Great. I'm going to give them just a minute to process that. The only thing I'm going to add while Mira reads is Holden, as you guys get as the two of you get close to that conversation, you do hear Mortavio look like he raises a wine glass and announces, "To friends!" And like everybody that can hear him around him raises a glass.
Aw, what a dude.
I'm always suspicious. I assume that that's some kind of signal for shenanigans. I'd like to pay
Yes.
close attention to my immediate surroundings.
And that's when the drinks were poisoned.
I'm gonna put one hand on Mortavio's back and one hand on Night of Dreams and say, "To friends!"
When you do, it kind of snaps Night and Dreams back to reality. Oh! Mira, Holden, good to see you again. We did it. We made it to the feast. Jabex, who is even more excitable in this moment. Night, come on. We didn't just make it to the feast. You saw. We actually got to speak to him. We delivered his morning meal the other day.
Could you imagine if you had missed that?
It truly would have been a disaster. But it was everything I wanted it to be. Night and Dreams interrupts. We got to see our names on the shield. It was right there, right almost dead center. We could see our names. He knew who we were. Mortavio leans back and takes a sip of his wine and says, "You two, these friends of yours, Jabex and Night, they are lovely. But, truth be told, they're a little easy to tease. So I think I may have already done as much as I can with them. Not to say that I wouldn't spend plenty of time with you two. And he reaches towards Night and Dreams, as if just kind of waving at him politely, and Knight has to look back and forth at Mortavio and Jabix, incredibly unsure of what to do. He instead punts and looks back at you two, Mira and Holden, and says, so you made it to the feast too? I don't actually know. What role are you playing here?
We assisted 2 of the culinarians with their dishes, and we are guests of honor here.
Jabix looks at the piece of paper he has in front of him. It looks like most of the guests got menus. He says, "Wait, hold on, 2 feet. So are you guys Team 23? You did the stew and the trifle?"
Yes, we did.
Ooh, that's an impressive one. I'll be honest. I don't know if I would love to go last or hate to go last, because on one hand, I think half this hall's going to be asleep, but on the other hand, you gotta save the best for last, right?
Well, I assure you we will make an impression by the end of the evening.
I can't wait. He nudges Knight, says, "Hear that? Trust me, we're staying awake for all 24 of these courses."
Having talked with Telemar, we're pretty sure he'd be into it. No biggie. We just kind of first name basis.
I'm going to bounce over to Tyrus and Rayun, assuming, Rayun, you've had plenty of time to read that.
Mm-hmm.
Yours was interesting because I didn't write the names in.
Yeah.
So I need to know, are you guys introducing yourselves? Are you just listening in on their conversation?
Nope. I sit down and turn around and go, "Hey, who are you?"
Okay.
Straight interrogation.
Sure. The blue dragonborn, who is closer to you, is the first one to respond. He turns back to you he's been kind of it looks like he's been in a sad sort of daze, like the kind where you could just sit down with your cup of coffee and just look at the coffee for 10 minutes. So you getting his attention kind of snaps him out of it, and also gets the red dragonborn's attention. But he says, "Oh, sorry." Instantly, you can hear he has a pretty clear Satiri accent. He says, "Oh, right. I'm sorry. I'm just a little distracted is all. I'm Anzek, Christale. And who might I ask are you?"
I used to work for Commander Christel. Are you related to her how now?
Oh. You know the commander. Right. She is my ex-wife.
Oh.
It's
Nice.
a little complicated.
Nice.
And you, what's your name? And I'm directing my attention towards the
Gonna
red dragon.
nudge Rain and be like, "But that's the lover of the ex-husband of the commander."
The red dragon, he was also kind of in a daze when you guys got there, but once the conversation started, he definitely is far more collected. And as soon as he sees specifically Rayun, a grin, like fang level grin, gets onto his face, and he says, "Oh, well, this is lovely. I was wondering if we'd ever get the opportunity. It's so good to finally meet you in person." Breath.
Wait. Are you? No way.
How does he know?
Allow me to properly introduce myself. Kraven Tantos, guild cartographer and author, at your service.
Well, well.
Is that the guy who gave us the cupcakes?
Yeah.
I'm glad that you made it this far. Truthfully, I've put a lot of work into making sure this happened. But you've performed admirably, and I hear that you are responsible, in a positive way, for the empty seat up top.
Most definitely.
Well, I congratulate you. Turns out I had it right from the beginning. You were definitely the team to back. Even if I had to pull some strings to put you together.
Coming from different parts of Plenty, it's very interesting how we came together.
You are eclectic. However, look at you. You do seem like you have had a fantastic journey, and I would love to hear all about it. Perhaps sometime when the feast is over, you would sit down for an interview? Both of you?
Sure. Also, you saw me when I first came to this town. Like after the introductions with the feast and all that. You were standing up on a balcony and you made eye contact with me and gave me that same smile.
I'm honored that you remember me. But yes, I've kept an eye on you a few times. I've also seen you coming or going through the building, but I wasn't going to reach out. I thought it might be a bit intrusive if I tried to insert myself into your story.
Well, it seems you have written into the story at hand.
Hey, DM.
Please?
Recalling my memory, because I can't remember, so hopefully the Cosmos and you can help me with this. What's the name of the vigilante in Satyr?
Bondbreaker.
Bondbreaker. I'm gonna start a conversation with Anzac and be like, "So, how about that Bondbreaker? Am I right?"
He is... Yeah, give me an insight check. I don't care.
Can I also make an insight check with that?
Sure, you're in the room. You other two can't.
Hold on one sec before you reveal something. Or not. I have a thing, maybe.
Okay. Sure, what's up?
I'm within 30 feet of Tyrus. Probably. It's not gridded, but is that true or false?
We can warp some realities and say that you are like exactly 30 feet away, sure.
I'd like to use my level 7 class feature, Flash of Genius, to give Tyrus a +5 to his insight check.
Nice.
What a good time for that.
Nice.
Did you just get that?
Yeah.
I love this image that like Tyrus is sitting there as blissful as always, and you just like huck a fork at him.
I thought it was more like a Cupid arrow.
Ooh yeah.
Like a dart,
Right into my neck.
right into the neck.
All right. That is really cool. Actually, before I do any more revealing, can I also have Holden and Mira make amusingly different or insight checks for different reasons? Oh, Mira.
I'm engrossed in conversation.
That's true.
Do I have
Mortavio's there.
Do I have
Man, all
anything that allows me to re-roll? I'm looking. I don't think so.
All right, just in case you do, I'll give you a minute to look at that while I go back to Tyrus and Rayun. And you say that, and he does kind of like, he has coffee, because I said that earlier. And he is taking a sip and kind of sputters into it for a second. It's just, I can't decide whether I respect or hate the man. He drives Savali crazy, but they seem like two halves of the same coin.
Is that
If that makes any sense?
rumor or fact you're sputtering?
I've seen them interact once or twice, and it's always a strange interaction. Those two.
Recalling me seeing, I remember I got a nat 20 on a perception check when looking at
That ass though.
Bondbreaker
Yeah.
with the tail and everything.
Uh-huh.
Could I potentially do some type of like size check on Anzac and Bondbreaker and see if they're similar in build?
Hold on, Anzac, could you like turn around and lift your tail up real quick?
No, just like
I just need to check something real fast.
Physique wise, like do they look like shoulder, like same broadened shoulders, maybe same height? Like do I get any? Can I do a roll for that to see if like if I can like compare the two and see if they're similar at all?
Sure.
Like similar size, maybe.
Why don't you've told me what you want to do. Why don't you nominate a skill that sounds good, and I'll tell you if that works.
Perception.
Sure. Yeah.
Or
okay.
survival.
We'll go with that.
Does it do perception or survival? I think.
Perception.
Okay. Dang. I am not rolling well tonight.
You know what? Here's how I'll say this. Anzac and Kraven are actually roughly the same size. Kraven has, we'll say, evidence that he's eaten well over the last few years. But otherwise, it looks like Anzac is probably of average male dragonborn height and size.
Okay. Trying to wonder if I can figure out if he is Bondbreaker. It's kind of my thought process right now.
Well,
if anyone has any ideas or suggestions,
I'm going to give you until I finish this DM real fast, and if we don't have anything, then maybe we'll start the feast and we can jump back in at the intermission if you think of something.
I have one last thing I'm going to say once you're done with your little DM.
No, feel free to say it. It's fine.
I'm just going to say to Anzac, like, man, well, you know, if some shit were to go down here, it'd be kind of be nice to have Bondbreaker on our side. Too bad he's not around. And I'm just going to give him like a side glance.
Yes, it is, but I don't imagine we'll be seeing too much of him lugging that kind of plate around, especially this far from Satir.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't carry around in some type of bag of holding or anything like that.
Does my insight like notice anything suspicious about that?
I'm gonna say no, and also that Tyrus's wouldn't have if he didn't get a fork to the back of the head.
Oh.
From the Blue Raja.
Do I actually see him holding any type of bag of holding on him? Is there anything visible like that in his possessions? I'm not going to be sneaky about looking for it.
Once again, like, hey, can you just like lift your shirt up a
I'm
little
going to
bit?
say like, yeah, maybe holding in a bag of holding. And I'm just going to like kind of like glare over and like look at him and kind of inspect him, but not like I'm not going to get up and like look, rummage through his shit or anything like that. But I'm just going to kind of like actively look like I'm looking for something.
Both because you rolled a natural 20 forever ago and because you rolled such a good roll that you clearly remembered it. You remember what that bag of holding looks like, and you don't see anything like that on his person.
Okay.
At least not immediately, right?
Right.
He might be keeping it in his prison pouch or something.
Sure. Might be keystring it.
So, if that's it, since you've brought it up, I'm going to ask, are you guys planning on interrupting the feast or just going to keep an eye out for everyone?
I'm going to keep my eye on Sabi.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we're all going to keep an eye on her, but I think we could probably do that pretty comfortably from these seats. Right? Because we'll be close.
As the feast starts to get ready, there are some announcements that go out that ask the culinarians and their teams to their stations.
Oh, okay. So we have to be at our... Then never mind. We'll hang out here in the back.
You know fully well I will always make time for cat people, but not right this second.
And we still don't know their names.
And you still don't know their names.
And we never will.
I probably will. So the first thing that happens is as the room goes silent, Rare is the first to stand up. And when he does, Racklin dutifully takes a step backwards to fade into the scenery. Everyone stops their conversation and takes a look, and Rare doesn't even have to use any sort of amplifiers or magic. His voice just carries to the whole room. Says, treasured friends, I am so glad to see so many of you here, from so many walks of life. Though many of you call these islands your home, I see friendly faces from distant shores, and this is truly why I am excited for us to be here. For there are some amongst us who aren't even native to this plane, but we've all come together for one purpose: to share a meal and celebrate. First and foremost, I ask everybody to raise a glass and toast with me to our guest of honor, for it is his nobility that has brought us safety for one more day. Everyone, to our guest of honor, to Telemar. And the hall, unanimously throws up a glass or a stein or something and repeat, to Telemar! As the cheers subside, Rare continues with, we will now begin what is truly one of the most impressive sounding feasts we've ever had. Each of our 24 participating culinarians will come forward with one of their dishes. We'll introduce it, or, if they have elected, I will introduce it. Our guest of honor will have the first taste, and then all of you will be able to enjoy and share in the meal with us. So now, with no further delay, let the feast begin. The room erupts in cheers, and the first culinarian comes forward. And I am not going to introduce each one of these individually. Please feel free if you would like to interject. But one at a time, a distinguished-looking culinarian will come forward. Roughly half the time, they will introduce their own dish to the crowd. They will come up roughly to here, so not quite on Telemar's level, but will step up so that the crowd can see them, and will announce their dish, where it came from, the inspiration behind it, the special ingredients that were included. The one thing that maybe is surprising here is this cat boy. He's not actually cat boy. He's quite old, but this cat man, as the first dish is being introduced, makes his way and delivers the meal from the central table up to the platform. At that point, Racklin, it takes a small bite or a sip, depending on the meal, and then hands it to Telemar to eat. Since you guys are keeping an eye on Savi, there's no insight roll necessary. You could see she's actually kind of annoyed. Like, there are a lot of hands that are in this, and she is not one of them, and is, like, mildly pouting. But the first dish goes out, and within seconds of Telemar having tasted it, and seeing his eyes like kind of light up at the taste of it, the food arrives on platters in front of you, and you're able to take pieces of it yourself. And that continues just over and over again. These dishes come out every like 5-10 minutes. Like, it's pretty quick. And each one of them comes with a story of usually some kind of hardship or triumph that led to this dish existing. Telemar maybe is even as interested in the story as he is in the dish, until he tastes the dish, and then, man, screw the story. Look how good this thing tastes. Around, which one was it? Dish. Oh, it's over here. Was it? Yeah. After dish 8, there is a sound that starts rumbling from the doors leading into the hall. Why don't I go ahead? If everybody would like to make perception checks, I would appreciate it.
Man, I hope my attack rolls are better.
Yeah.
What?
Nice.
All right. I'm not gonna DM this to 2 people. I refuse.
I'll close my ears.
No, it's fine. So the ruckus, like, there is some murmuring going on in the hall outside. The doors are closed, but occasionally you'll hear some noise coming in or out. The thing that breaks you out of that revelry is you are happily enjoying your pasta and getting ready for whatever the fudge that sandwich is, when you hear actually some yelling. Like, there is a dude yelling on the other side of the door, obstinately. And maybe, like, you rolled a 25 and Holden rolled a natural 20. So there's no sense in hiding it. You probably figure this out, like, the wires connect in your head, like, probably 3 or 4 seconds early. You know exactly who that voice belongs to.
Is it Racklin?
It's not Racklin. Racklin's all the way over here. He's tasting stuff.
Are you sure? Are we sure?
Yes. I mean, I did make 3 Racklin tokens. I guess there's some room for error, but
Doppelgangers, though.
Racklin's twin brother.
I don't even know what that would be
Racklin's
backwards.
twin brother, Wacklin.
No, I'm unoriginal enough. It would be Nalkar. Be like, guys, that name sucks. I'm like, shut up. No. You guys hear it is the voice of Mayor Orso.
Fat gut.
Oh, fat cut.
And about 4 or 5 seconds after you guys make that connection, you've been hearing this yelling for like 10 seconds or so. The doors to the hall blast open. And he and the matron like barge their way into the feast hall. The crowd like kind of turns. Not kind of. The crowd does turn, and there's suddenly a ton of eyes on them. And you could see he's puffing. He is out of breath. He has been fighting his way through the bureaucracy because he demands to be here. He gets as far as raising his hand and says, "I demand my opportunity." And before he gets another word out, I don't know how many of you guys were counting, but the 5th of Telemar's elite guard seemed to materialize from behind him. And these 2 people are suddenly in 4 pieces.
Nice.
Oh, damn.
There was an intruder in the hall, and that guard drew a colossal greatsword. And the first swing of his sword went from top to bottom, and the flash of light that came afterwards followed a second later, and one slash made 2 cuts through these people.
Top 10 satisfying deaths in anime.
He sheaths his greatsword with relative ease, grabs all 4 parts of these people, drags them out of the hall, and the doors close.
Very satisfying ending. Thank you.
Would you believe that was planned before you said that?
Was that really? Nice.
Those tokens are sitting there on the GM layer, and then you said, "Is it the mayor?" And I was like, "Not yet." Man. If you guys can see all of my stuff on the GM layer, I think you're obligated to tell me.
I can't.
I believe you, because there's spoilers all over this place, but I did see that, and I was like, "Oh, you guys, that's amazing. I'm proud of you."
What's right here?
Nothing. There's nothing there. That's a walkway.
What about here?
You pinged right under Rare, so probably his left foot, and Rayun's pinging where all the dishes appear.
All right.
It's gonna be hard to gotcha. You know he's a lawyer, right?
The best part is I was just telling the truth, but also, yeah, whether I'm actually trained to lie or not, I'm really good at it, and it's my job.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I'm built different.
Yeah, okay, says the guy that just rolled a 10 perception and was like, that's not bad.
Well, 4 is different.
Yeah.
I didn't say I was built better. I said I was built different.
With your permission, I am going to call a 5-minute break, and then we will pick up at the intermission.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So I'll be back in 5 minutes. Love you, audience.
Sounds good. Bye, dances. Back in a minute.
Heck, I don't care if you leave it unmuted before. I'm still on push to talk for some stupid reason, and we're just talking about fun books. So I'm gonna guess that John is also back.
He has his ears on, yes.
Perfect. So, given that, we're gonna go to intermission time, which is a second opportunity to go in and check in with people. You do notice, though, as part of you guys keeping an eye on the feast, that the tabaxi man that was shipping food from the main table to Telemar returns to his seat. Oh yeah, that's a good call.
Since we're together now. While you
Yeah.
guys were having your conversation, the two tabaxi in the corner, I'm assuming the unnamed ones, were basically eyeballing you guys. I didn't get a sense, because my role was not very good, whether it was like sizing you up for dinner or checking you out as a potential mate. I don't know, but they're watching you, so I'm watching them.
Thank you.
Can I roll a survival check to see if their intent, to figure out what their intent is? Since they are a predator race.
I feel like that's a stretch, but I'm going to give it to you and we'll see what happens.
Damn, I can't roll tonight at all.
That's amazing.
I guess.
You know what? It's fine. When we get to fighting, I'm gonna roll amazing.
Yeah, totally.
Are you?
And then and then like the whole like always something comes up. He did not roll amazing.
But yeah, so the effectively there's an announcement of, hey, everybody, 30 minutes until the next course.
So are we allowed to like mingle and everything?
Yep.
I'd like to go up to the cat people and ask them who they are.
I guess I'll follow.
Oh boy.
Yeah, watching this whole thing, we don't catch the bad guys, and there's no combat. Everyone dies.
Holden, Mira, do you have any interest in mingling?
I will follow Holden.
I want to keep a hunter's distance so I can keep an eye on the tabaxi and what they're doing with my friends. Glitch isn't on the map, but I do want to make sure that he's here or close enough to here.
Yeah, that's fair. We'll say this place is pretty darn packed, but Glitch knows how to like be underfoot.
Under the table.
Sure, yeah. Waiting for scraps.
Perfect.
Waiting for screws.
Yeah, you just like
Scraps.
chip off a little piece of the combustion pot. Ranmar doesn't notice.
Or I thought you're sitting there like sitting on the table and you're just like unscrewing one of the legs and like dropping it to him. Yeah, so I'm just gonna like walk up to the tabaxi and be like, hey, how's it going?
Okay. Same as before. Could you guys give me insight checks on your way in?
I'm getting
Pirate.
worse. I'm getting worse.
Mira, I'm gonna have you hold that
Oh, sorry. Okay.
if you plan on joining them, but this is like these two approaching the tabaxis.
I wasn't sure if I was watching what they were doing, and that's what you wanted the insight check for, to see if I noticed anything unusual from my faraway spot.
I don't think there's anything valuable enough for me to have you spend that 24, so I'm going to have you hold on to that in case you feel like talking to somebody afterwards.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, this fun thing that I wrote, you just don't get to read it. Suck
fine.
it.
Well, damn.
I hate reading anyways.
I wish I
the-
had inspiration.
I know, right? You are definitely outside of 30 feet and fork throwing distance. So,
Come on, Holden, just chuck it across the room.
I could load it in my crossbow, but I don't think you're gonna like how that works out.
and brain damage.
I think it's a failure either way for me because, it's a crit fail.
Yeah, but like maybe Rain could have gotten a fork to the head.
Mm-hmm.
Blue Raja style, just far as you can. I will give you this much, that as you guys are approaching, you definitely see that the two of them are in the middle of a hushed discussion. I'm going to say, like, they're leaning into each other pretty close, and it is bordering on an argument. When you get close, though, the two of them stop, and it's very clear that they saw you coming.
That's good.
The female is definitely keeping an eye on you, Tyrus, but it's the male that speaks first and says, "So good of you to finally join us, mortal."
There they are. I didn't realize who you guys were. In disguise.
Yes, well, the hall isn't big enough for me in my real form, and I insisted that Andromeda take a more respectable form, like her mother's.
I'm gonna do a slight bow to Andromeda.
She gives you one back, and she's definitely still keeping her eye on you. I'm gonna say this. Based on your incredibly insightful role, she's not like holding herself very well. She looks uncomfortable. It took me that long to think of the word uncomfortable.
It's a very uncomfortable word to say.
Yeah. You know what? No, I'm going there because now it's in my head, so you have to. She looks downright uncomfy.
Okay.
And is this the visage of your wife, Mr. Nimbus?
Oh, that's not weird.
It's closer, but of course she took her own visage, just loosely based on it.
Okay.
So, sorry, I was distracted by a certain GIF.
Yeah, there's a lot of good gifts going around.
I'm Mr. Nimbus.
Oh God.
Oh boy.
He controls the
I lost my train of thought. Give me a second.
Yep.
Just minimize Discord. Just minimize Discord.
That's exactly what I did.
I'm just closing my eyes.
Andromeda does interject long enough just to say, "Sorry, I haven't been around very much. There's been work making all of this come together. But I'm glad to see you're doing okay, at least."
Same to you.
Oh, and sorry I didn't come to the fight myself. I was going to, and then Father came and spoke to me, and I thought he would be better for you. I'm not really great at fighting.
Understandable. Speaking of the fight and the words you left us with, any more insight into that now that we're here?
Nimbus. No, his name is not Nimbus. You said Nimbus, and then I put that in there.
It's not Nimbus.
Oh my gosh. I'm
It's
so mad
serious.
about that. It's the other cloud.
Camilo?
Sirius looks at you like kind of disappointedly and says, "I think you misunderstand me, mortal. It's not that I don't know what's going to happen. I know exactly what's going to happen. However, my kind are bound by rules. And one of those rules is that we rarely give information out without the person earning it. Andromeda actually lowers her head a little bit. I've heard the same prophecy. Stopping two to save one, slaying four to stop one. Right, Father? He nods. It's very good.
And Andromeda, what's that about spoons again?
Give me an insight check.
This one's also going to fail.
There are no spoons.
Rayon, you too, because you're there.
Aha!
Gosh, you guys.
Come on.
Yeah. She takes a second, but says, I don't think I've mentioned anything about spoons.
Well, you have to me. But it might have not happened for you yet.
Maybe later. It sounds nice. Sirius decides to ignore that one and says, Andromeda will be taking over for me for the second half of the feast. I insisted that my daughter be exposed to Telemar's goodwill so that she might willingly enter service of the deity. To use a human term, follow in her father's footsteps.
We suspect Sabi of trying to take over Telemar's position among the Pantheon.
That's ridiculous. Even if she has siphoned some bit of his power, he's still an upper pantheon deity of combat and bravery. What is his second in command going to do to overturn him?
I'm going to then fill in all the information that we learned from Cerberus? No, the other guy. The other sea guy.
Celebron.
Nimbus.
Yeah, all the information we learned from Nimbus. And I'm going to basically explain that to Sirius. And be like, that's our reasoning for suspecting her. Why we think that she is this other deity in disguise.
Interesting.
But I assume if that's all true, you already knew that. But by telling you, I hope I may have earned some more insight.
He actually stops for a second and his mouth is open trying to form the right words. He also looks down at Andromeda, maybe looking for inspiration, before he says, I am impressed, mortal. You have impressed me with your insight and investigation. I hope that you will continue to keep your eyes open as things progress. And if you do, I'm sure that my daughter will be kept safe and sound. Isn't that right, Andromeda? And she kind of looks down and gives a very dutiful "Yes, father," in response. Now, I hope you will forgive me, but I'm worried that I'm already playing dangerously close to an oath that I've made. Is there anything else that we can assist you with, mortal?
Nothing at the moment.
Then by all means, enjoy the feast. All 24 courses of it. What a display of gluttony.
I think they like to see it as art.
I'm gonna bow with respect and then walk back to the table.
I will follow suit.
So,
Good
who are your
news,
friends?
Mira. Yeah, Mira and Holden. You guys see that? Hey, they've made it back successfully and alive.
Yes. I am going to immediately ask Tyrus who they were just speaking with.
Oh, that's just my wife and father-in-law.
Ah,
Weird how they have so much disdain for these lower life forms, yet whenever they want to look presentable, they take the form of us. Something to unpack there.
Something. Our buildings are too small for them.
Wait, Holden, you're part cat person?
wow.
Moran.
Careful with that. The cosmos is listening.
I
But I am glad that you caught on to that. That they do seem to exclusively take the superior tabaxi form.
Tabaxis.
The time is yours, though. There are still plenty of people that you can speak to and potentially get some insight into if you so choose.
Is Telemar off limits?
I will say those guards will probably not let you get to Telemar.
Oh, we could go talk to Molo. See what the
My good
Yeah.
friend
Witch
Molo
Hunter's up to.
Jora.
Whoop.
We're going to be doing a lot of insight checks here. Mira, I'm going to take yours
24.
and I'm going to ask you if you would like to use that on Molo or on another potential overhearing that would occur otherwise.
I am over here by Molo. I would like to use it to overhear the conversation taking place here, because we're going to be talking to Molo and Cran, but I'm curious to know what these people are talking about since there's green people, Telemar people there as well.
I'm not gonna go to Molo Jora. On the way there. I'm gonna stop and I want to discuss with Savali Christel, Commander Christel.
Okay. I've got Rayan and Mira headed to Molo. Tyrus is going to the baddest women in town. And Holden, would you like to talk to anybody of importance?
My insight is very, very poor, so I think I'm better served just helping Mira. So I'll stay close to her in case she needs, say, like a flash of brilliance.
That sounds good. Okay. There's going to be a lot of these, and I apologize, but also I don't. Tyrus. Actually, everybody, could you give me an insight check as you pass by Commander Christail and Mulholland?
Oh,
Did it
God.
again!
Ooh,
Sorry,
Oh,
except
God.
Mira, I'm going to... oh, no, you've already
I
said
was
you're using
my
yours for someone else.
24 for this
Yeah.
section of people.
Hey,
Yep.
I need to close out a roll 20 real quick. My game's crashing because I can't roll above 3.
must be a bug.
Wow.
Definitely reload.
Must be a bug.
Yep.
I am actually going to send this to you, Rayun, which actually, all things considered, I'm actually pretty happy about.
Oh, I thought my roll was a 2.
No,
Because
no.
Tyrus
That's
rolled
mine.
at the same time.
Yeah, that was someone else's too. So Rayun, you've got a little reading there. Could I get an insight check from everybody except Tyrus for Molo and Cran?
I'm gonna see if mine got fixed after reloading.
Hey, that's more like it.
Yeah, there we go. We're good now.
Well, that was investigation. That's a different skill.
Oh, okay, never mind.
But that is definitely the best D20 roll you've had all day.
Nailing it.
I'd like to hold on that investigation after I investigate Chris Tail for being
Batman.
breaker of chains.
All right,
Whose name I always
send
forget.
this one. Rain, could I get a second insight from you as well?
Yeah, 1 sec.
There's been a lot of these, but I will have a couple of these still.
A 12.
Great. Then I'm just gonna, you know what? I'm just gonna send this to everybody, and yeah, that's fine. Everybody, you can all read this.
Except for Tyrus.
No, I'll give this to you too, because
Nope.
that way you have more to read.
Nope.
I know how much you like reading.
I don't deserve it. I need to earn it.
So that's been added to your feast convos list, and then Mira, you're going to auto pass this. Holden, could I get you to make one more insight roll on top of that? You do not succeed at this. I'm telling you that pretty blatantly. However, you do, as a minor success, catch that as you walk by, Hornel Torset, like, definitely tracks you as he's talking.
I'll keep an eye on Horny Toad.
And then Mira, you auto passed to get this one. So everybody gets to read. How exciting. Except I found a typo.
Nice. Molo's such a softie.
Yeah. Some of them were going to be plot relevant. Some of them were going to be Molo. Just giving the stream a few good quiet minutes so everybody can read. Sorry, 2 viewers.
Well, that was an interesting first conversation, and now I go on to the next one.
Go Cheekle.
All right. Let me know if anybody's still reading, and I'll happily give you a little more time.
I'm still reading, halfway through.
All right.
All right, I'm done.
Well, I just finished typing, so whatever. But I'm going to say it out loud, too. The Molo and Kran stuff was definitely some of my favorite to write here.
Gobbling good.
And yeah, I got to reference the short story that was effectively fan fiction of my own universe. And that that whole situation is so stupid, and I can't stop smiling that it makes me really happy. I'm going to start with where there are the most people, which is at Molo and Cran. And as you three arrive, where normally he has been like kind of hunched over and chill and quiet, Molo sees the three of you and shoots like stone still, perfectly upright, and uncharacteristically says, "First Hunter Jory reporting."
Addie's Hunter.
Cran like playfully gives him a nudge to the ribs and looks at the three of you like kind of curiously. She starts to ask a question and he just like hand over her face says, "Cran, these are the adventurers that I encountered right before I came back to you. I believe I mentioned them previously, that we hunted the Horrifex together."
It was indeed glorious.
And now, at Cran's insistence, I am here at the feast. I would much rather be anywhere else. But the food is good.
That's a plus, isn't it?
Yes. I'm sorry. This is not my element, is all.
Oh,
And
I wouldn't be too sure. There may be a beast for you to hunt here yet.
he pokes at some of the leftover food that's sitting around the table and goes, "You say that, I recognize some of these. I hunted a few of them even. But I will keep an eye out, I suppose, in case anything breaks through the barricades." You could see, it's also worth pointing out, Molo is maybe one of the few people here that is not a guard that is fully armed. Like, it looks like he is probably wearing his nicest set of hunter's robes, and yet also still has his bow and greatsword on him. Cran is just wearing a pretty dress, and for maybe like the fourth time, starts to speak up, and Molo once again stops her, and this time says, you can overhear him whispering, "Cran, please, I'm begging you, I know these people."
I'm going to look directly at Cran and say, "Hello, I'm Mira. Nice to meet you."
She squeaks back at you. This time, like, he cannot stop her. And she very politely, she responds with, "Hi, I'm sorry, I'm Cran, and he is what he is. But thank you so much for helping him out, and I'm so glad you got him out here."
Well, we couldn't have done it without him. And then I'm going to turn to Molo and say, "You'll be happy to know that we were able to rescue our friend. Not that
Good.
you asked."
Tyrus mentioned her, the cat girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
I'm glad to hear that went well. Any relation to the two on the other side?
As a matter of fact. But that's just between us.
I see. Cran once again elbows him. "Say, the best way to keep a secret is to never talk to anybody. Your word's as good as safe with him."
We know he can be trusted. Have you noticed anything
He
out of the ordinary, Hunter?
Yes. Well, since the summoning, I have been keeping an eye on things as best I could. And truthfully, I think the only interesting thing that's happened here, besides some banners being hung, is that mysteriously one of the counselors ended up dead.
I'm gonna clear my throat and look at Holden.
What?
And
Cran
then
kind of lights up and says, I heard they found her with half a dozen crossbow bolts in her.
I'm gonna go ahead.
No, I don't.
I'd love to meet the man that made that happen.
And I'll just nod my head at both of them and say, we appreciate the assistance that you were able to provide us during our investigation.
Of course. I look forward to trying your dish as well. I will be on hand in case anything is needed, but otherwise I'm hopeful that this will go quietly, and I can return to the wilderness.
Stay ready, and we'll do the same. And then I'm going to grab Holden's arm, and we're going to walk back to Ranmar and Pelna.
You see that as you three leave, Cran also takes a hold of Molo's arm. And then let's briefly, yes, I got exactly the tiles I needed. Let's go to the commander and the lead administrator, Tyrus. That's right. You also failed that insight roll.
Yeah.
I heard that conversation though.
Yeah.
So
It's like there's not enough time for you to hand off and be like, this is what they were saying. Because this conversation happened at the same time. But you see the two of these women, like there is a pile of pepper or some spice that has been poured out on the table. And the two women are like drawing maps in the spices.
They're drawing maps.
It looks like it.
Nice.
Can
I make a perception check on figuring out what kind of map of what, maybe? Of like the city or of the continents or...
Sure.
Nice.
I'm
Sorry, I
gonna
meant to
give
say,
you...
can I investigate what the map is?
If
I'm
only.
kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm going to give you as much as, because this was kind of your question, it definitely looks like some kind of like city tactical map.
Okay.
Right? Like you kind of know what some of the major islands look like. This doesn't look like Porta Maria or Satir. Maybe the city versions of those. As you approach, though, Christail with the back of her hand just swipes the table and all of the spices and a couple of the dishes go flying. She looks at you and rather sharply says, good to see you again. Tyrus Rex, yes?
Yes, Commander.
Good. I'm glad to see that you made it back in one piece.
Just wanted to report in about the situation with the innocent person that we discussed in private, hinting at Primrose.
Mm-hmm.
And just wanted to let you know that that has been resolved. And that person in question is now no longer in danger.
I assume nothing less from you, and am still rather pleased with that outcome. Congratulations. My offer stands, by the way. When all of this is done, there's a place for you and Holden, if you would ever like to come back to the guard.
I will consider it. Administrator Maholim.
Maholim actually kind of like nudges Savali and Well, you're going to have to take them from us. Must be nice, soldier, having 2 nations fighting over you.
Well, 2 nations and a demigod.
Even more popular than I thought. She, weirdly is not very plussed by the demigod thing. But Mulholland continues, something tells me that we can find a way to sweeten the pot for you.
Tyrus is going to say something along the lines of, I was hoping you might be able to help me out with the situation with the requisitions office downstairs.
You're talking paperwork at a time like this? I'm 3 mugs in. I'm going to be lucky if I remember how to sign my name by the end of this feast.
Just wanted you to potentially look over, give it some oversight on a potential requisition I had to make last minute.
You helped with the missing requisitions credits. Now that the counselor's taken care of. I guess one more might just disappear under May's experiments.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure thing. But, I'm not going to be giving too many more handouts out like that. There's a difference between giving a soldier a pat on the back and giving him a 10,000 gold.
Well, I wouldn't say it was that much. Just a sword.
She actually chuckles at you and you don't know how much those credits are worth then. That's probably for the best. Christelle raises a hand and says, "Before you go, soldier, tell me about your other conversation."
Which one?
You know which one.
He's a lovely being. And I'm sorry to hear that you two had to split.
In half a second, you see her face flashing back and forth, and her mouth ends up saying, "He's a bastard and he deserves it," while her face very firmly disagrees with that.
I agree.
For what it's worth, sometimes I appreciate the bootlicking, so it's fun to watch him try and crawl back to me. He knows what he has to do.
Just he has to catch that bond breaker of yours, right?
No, that's my job. And she takes a long draught of her drink.
I'll take that as my cue to leave, and I'm just going to turn around and leave.
Mm-hmm. Out of character, I'm going to point out quickly that I'm proud of you guys. I think you got almost all of the feast conversations.
Nice.
At least somebody saw almost all of them.
Nice.
And somebody saw none of them.
Yeah. Actually, yes. Could I get perception checks before we get back to the feast?
An 18.
Oh, hold on. I was really expecting this to go exactly the opposite. Okay. So the feast resumes a few minutes later, assuming everybody didn't want to come back and compare notes, I'm also happy to give you a minute to do that.
Rayun looks over to Tyrus and just says, "So, did you get to see those battle plans?"
And we never heard from him again.
Were you talking to me? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Did you get to see those battle plans?
No.
Heard they got some barricades around.
Around the city?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
They got I think one of them had one guy, like just one guy. It was interesting.
Don't think they were too keen on letting me in on that.
Probably not. But caught it in passing. Thought I'd share.
So, we return to the feast, starting right back where we left off with dish number 12, the long neck Craviton charcuterie board with pickled dove ferns. And same as before, it is exactly the same where a dish is presented to Telemar. This time, Andromeda is the one to take the dish from the presentation table to Telemar's table. Racklin, same as before, takes a sampling of everything, and then immediately it is handed off to Telemar. And this goes on and on for like an hour of here's new dish. A couple hours, actually. Shoot, they got a lot of dishes to go. By the end, it is almost kind of exhausting. Somewhere around the memento porridge is when things start to slow down and the dishes start coming out a little slower. By the time the air clears from the powdered air elemental smoke, you see that Ranmar and Pelna are getting a little more excited, whereas everybody else has kind of like had their moment and then chilled out. And Rare, who is at this point, even Rare is kind of like, oh my gosh, I've eaten 22 things. This was a bad idea. He has the presence of mind. He's still in it. He's still showing a little bit, like showing off. He stands up just a little slower than everyone else and says, "Lastly, my friends, Lord Telemar, we have a bold pair of dishes for our final culinarians, Ranmar Cast and Iron and Pelna Coalstove. From Culinarian Cast and Iron, we have a dish harkening back to the days of legend, the Celestial Stew. A stew of braised Horifex flanks spiced in pepperthorn and cinderman, Her Majesty's turnips, and a hearty broth of knife peas and drippings from the Horifex itself. The flank was marinated for nearly 6 days before being subjected to a vicious tenderizing at the hands of the culinarian's prized creation, the combustion pot, creating an impossibly tender bite unlike anything you've ever tasted. When asked, the culinarian stated the dish was designed to inspire visions of celebrating overcoming your greatest obstacles and light a fiery passion inside those that taste it. Conversely, from Culinarian Coalstove, we have the Night Shrike Trifle, an unusual take on a traditional trifle. The dessert is comprised of alternating layers of Crimson Tear Berry Jam, Night Shrike Talon Marrow, and Sponge Cake, utilizing an unusual ingredient of Dreamscape Tern Eggs. The combination of the Night Shrike Talon Marrow and the Dreamscape Tern Eggs is said to induce the feelings of drifting peacefully to sleep underneath the full moon guarded by the stars themselves. Please, enjoy our final dishes of the day. As with every other time, Andromeda picks up the 2 dishes this time, 1 in each hand, and 3 of you notice that, hey, every time a dish has been served, it's been served on a silver platter in a silver bowl or plate with silver cutlery. And this time, the stew specifically is being served on a gold platter in a gold bowl with a gold spoon.
Well, that's
And
curious.
Tyrus, not because you had easily your best roll of the night, but maybe because of many other reasons, you were the first one to catch that Andromeda, as she picks up this dish, she's been very stoic this whole time. Right? She's playing a role. She's doing her job. For just a brief second, as she picks up the 2 dishes, she looks over and looks at the group of you.
Is Andromeda the bad guy?
Slowly,
I'm pulling out my rifle and I'm going to shoot the dish out of her hand.
Okay.
Here's hoping you don't miss.
Make an attack
Here's
roll.
hoping I don't miss.
No ones, no whammies, no whammies.
Telemar.
Dang,
Here's
I'm
the
still
thing.
rolling low.
You are still rolling low. Thankfully, it's an inanimate object that is moving very slowly. And specifically, I described that it was moving very slowly. And so she turns away from you and is holding the dish with the stew in her left hand. And so as she is walking, before she even makes it to the first step, you have enough time, especially with your gunslinger training, to very quickly draw that rifle.
I quick draw it.
You don't. Yeah, you quick draw it. You don't necessarily have time to take a bead, but you have enough time to quick draw it and pull the trigger, and the entire hall just goes back as crazy. I will say, first off, because it's probably most important, you do hit the bowl containing the stew. It goes flying, it goes spraying all over the stairs, and Andromeda is one of many people in this hall that ducks down in utter terror. She didn't even see who shot at her. Many other people did. And in the time it takes for somebody to start screaming, roughly in this order, all 5, I'm only moving 1 because I don't want to move all the others because I'm lazy, but all 5 of the Telemarian elite guards are on you with swords drawn. Molo and Cran both have their weapons out. Chris Tail has her weapon out, and Anzac is standing in an aggressive position, even if he is completely unarmed.
Nice. Confirmed he's a bond breaker.
While there is plenty of screaming going on, very quickly, the voice of reason here is he's curious and kind of upset, but it's Telemar's voice that booms over the entire room, shouting only the way a god can, "Everyone stop!" The whole room goes silent for a second, and Telemar is now standing. He has now conjured his sword and shield in hand. But now that people are not attacking anybody, he says, "Sorry, I lost my head. He is a friend of mine, or at least a friend of a friend. Bring him forward. And the rest of his team? And he will explain himself in front of everybody." The elite guard escort you, and Ranmar also goes with you. It was his dish. I am moving your tokens because I'm going to be truthful. They don't give you much choice. And you see that as you approach, Andromeda stands back and is in like a head down servant's position. "Tyrus, we have spoken before. I know of you. What are you doing?"
Tyrus is going to hold up one finger, and he's going to point at the soup, and he's going to draw a line to Savi and say poison.
Savi looks at you, righteously furious, and quickly catches herself, maybe even before Telemar would have the chance to turn his head, and says, "I don't know what you're talking about, mortal. I haven't even had the opportunity to touch a dish."
Test it. Touch this one now and test it, Savi.
Put it in your mouth.
She glares at you for a second, but Telemar turns and says, "You did want to be the taster. If you would mind." You have a hard time explaining it, but you watch as Andromeda starts walking backwards, and a few seconds later, the bowl and contents are returned to her hand. She doesn't really understand what just happened, but she is now holding the bowl of soup unspilled.
Is there still a dent, like from the bullet?
Nope.
Ooh, timey-wimey stuff.
Telemar weirdly is not particularly surprised by this. See? My steward has even prepared the bowl for you, so you have no need to drink off the floor like a commoner.
I'm going to approach Andromeda and take the bowl from her and walk it up to Savi.
Mm-hmm.
"Eat it, Tina." And just set it down right in front of her and raise one eyebrow.
It now looks between you, Tyrus, and Telemar, and "I told you, girl, that I would watch this city drown. And I'm not done yet."
You're right, there's still 2 courses left to go.
she kicks back from the table and like she takes off the headdress she's wearing and throws her hair forward. Hey, she has long black hair. Never knew that. At the point where she throws her head back, she does a bit of an outfit change. Let's see if I can do this right. Into Savamore.
Ooh, that hair toss.
At least we're done pretending.
Everyone evacuate now.
Yeah. If there wasn't chaos before, there's chaos now. Weirdly, Telemar's reaction is not surprise at like the betrayal so much as he says, I remember you. We fought centuries ago. And she looks at him like she's now standing twice his height and says, "You slew my dog."
Oh no, we gotta adjust
Oh,
the
it's going
situation.
down.
Holden, take the shot. Now.
And I mean, you could try.
Shoot her dog.
She launches herself, like, actually, we'll say, kind of like the last scene in The Matrix, just straight in the air, except she has to go through a, glass ceiling.
Like Willy Wonka?
Kinda. No elevator, though. But
Oh.
she just, like, launches
She is
herself
the
up.
elevator.
Telemar, for being a stout plate-wearing mole, doesn't hesitate, but leaps into the air and shoots off after her.
Does he say hello?
Goodbye!
Goodbye, bitch.
If anything, you do hear him shouting off into the distance, "Come back here!" And maybe like 6 or 7 seconds later, you hear the sound of steel clashing so loud and so pervasively that your bones hurt. This hall is being evacuated. There's no American fire drill of, hey, the fire alarm's going off, I wonder if there's a fire. There is only, oh my gosh, 2 gods are now fighting, and one of them just tried to kill the other. We're leaving.
What are
Hey,
the...
what are Telemar's like guard doing? Are they like
Yeah.
hostile towards us still? Or are they like in awe? Are they?
They are not only not hostile, but genuinely they are not moving at all. I guess I can put the 5th one back up here. He's with you. But yeah, they are
real?
all like, frozen in place.
Okay.
Do they have like any like actual like human skin or anything like that? Like human flesh on them, or are
Yeah,
they just, like, bound?
Were they puppets?
They're
Put them like in their pockets.
Oh!
Yeah, it's
No
only
flesh
binding the
pockets.
books they're carrying. No, they are. How's a good way to describe this? They are not showing any skin right now. However, maybe like a couple of you guys give them a look, and Racklin is the one that thinks to take a look. He walks over to the nearest one and like pulls down the mask and hood, and the guy doesn't resist. But sure enough, yeah, there is a human male, completely bald, underneath that hood, with incredibly bright yellow, but also completely vacant-looking eyes.
Oh, damn.
See if I can do this right. I think they're all gone. Or the
Here.
gods. Another clash of steel rings out from up above, and you could see at this point, like amongst the crowd, that it is primarily Mulholland, Molo, and Mortavio, 3 M names, that's neat, that are guiding the crowd out. Like, they are the ones that are getting everyone out. They are shooing people to the door and trying to keep this orderly so no one gets hurt. The guild counselors and Rare are also doing their best, but they are just not in a position. They are not with the crowd. So while the counselors evacuate, Rare stays behind, and within a minute, I'm going to say within 60 seconds, most of this hall is empty. Just about as fast as I can click things into the GM layer. But Rare stays.
How I'm coming.
No, don't put them on the token layer. He turns to you and says, I think I may have gotten rid of some adventurers too. Whoops.
Whoops.
Hey, where'd
that happens.
Sirius go? I was gonna have him take us to the gods. I don't mean Nimbus.
You know what? Yeah.
Oh no.
Let's keep Ranmar sticking around. Pelna does not. And the 2 Sphinxes. Because
Rare
they
was a
don't
bad
care.
guy the entire time.
I mean, I wasn't part of their conversation, but Sirius did not believe that it was Savamore, and when Tyrus told him that, so is he gonna protect the god or what?
Well, he was playing dumb until I explained how I knew.
That is actually true.
The fine line between playing dumb and being dumb.
Rare is the one to kind of get everybody's attention of everybody that's still here, which at this point I think we could count is 9 people. Not counting the guards, because they do not count right now.
Does he get his own attention?
Was that Rare?
Yeah.
He doesn't bother with any sort of pageantry or anything. He just comes up to the lot of you and says, all right, listen. We have to deal with this, and we have to deal with it now. The people will be safe. We have places underground to keep them in the event of an emergency. I just assumed that they would need that because of the mountain erupting, but a duel of the gods over the city is also fairly cataclysmic. We need to figure out what to do. And he looks over to the 2 Sphinxes and says, if either of you have any suggestions, now would be a great time. Sirius looks to you all and says, I have made my stance clear, and I apologize. But I swore an oath to Telemar, and I cannot break that oath.
What oath?
It is my oath of service. That I hold all secrets and reveal only to mortals what is needed to serve his will. You cannot fight Savamore. Telling you where she is will do no good.
Well, someone has to. If you're not going to help, we will.
Ranmar looks back to his dish, which is still on the table, and I don't care what your gods say. I am going to make sure this feast finishes. I'll scour this whole island if I have to. He looks like he's just starting to get ramped up when it's Andromeda that gets everybody's attention. Andromeda, similarly to last time, Tyrus, you see the same sort of thing happening again, where her claws come out and she starts to breathe really heavily. This time, she does not charge at you. Hey, Rayun's in the way. Instead, she lets out a mighty scream and starts clawing at her own flesh.
What's going on? Doesn't seem good.
I'm going to be honest, what's going on might not be enough to overcome the blood rage that is clearly on display here.
That was kind of directed at Sirius, like, what's going on there? Your daughter's kind of killing herself.
He says she has made her bed.
I'm gonna cast sleep on her. Or at least try to.
Go ahead and link the spell and we'll see what happens. Please? Because I never know what those spells do.
I'm trying to decide how I want to. The total is how many hit points of creature you can affect. I think I have to roll it as a high level spell. There you
go. Let's see. I think we know how many hit points Andromeda has. I think she has 95 hit points.
And you have to meet or go above that threshold, I think. I was looking at the Rainbow Rapier and saw a spell similar to this.
So we need to take her hit points down for her to go to sleep.
I mean, admittedly, she is doing that herself.
So, yeah, I only rolled 31. Sorry. It was worth a try.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. It is a gruesome sight. She is literally tearing herself apart.
I'm going to run at her and try to grapple her.
Okay. Make an attack roll. Just like a strength-based one. Then your cool shooty stuff.
Just a straight strength attack, I guess.
What a good time for a good roll.
Right? Told you.
Like, right past Rayun, she's had several seconds at this. She is bleeding profusely. But she's also not really paying attention to you or anyone else because she's got one thing on her mind. Well, she has two things on her mind right now, and one of them is self-inflicted harm. You bring her down, and she is still actively fighting. She is fighting you to get to herself. I'm gonna say you are wrestling with her for a good 5-10 seconds, just trying to get your hands on her wrists so that she stops. And at one point in that wrestling, she looks at you, and that blood rage stops for a moment. And with perfect clarity, she looks you right in the eyes and says, "She's at the arena. She's waiting for you all."
Oh my god, is that where we're ending this session?
That seems like a great place to end the session. You guys, we did it. We finally had the feast.
Well, almost all of it.
Arena.
Hey, we still have one last course.
That's true.
We're gonna.
I mean, technically, the celestial stew is there. We got 2 courses,
and it's gonna be a fresh serving of ass kicking
down her face.
Oh,
so we have 3 dishes. So a can of ass whoop,
a can of ass whoop, a can of poison soup, and a nice delectable dessert of Friends Parfait to end it all off.
So yeah, this ended up not being a combat session because there was just enough talking stuff going on. But there was a lot of important talking things here. And now we get to the last actiony bit. I think it's safe for me to say we are going to end the campaign in the next session or two.
Okay, are we
Spoilers, but
are we going to the arena next session, or are we going to keep playing until we have arrived at the arena tonight?
I think I think we will end here and like let you guys go to the arena next time. It will probably be fast travel. I'm going to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's not going to be a lot in the way. And there may just be a bit of storytelling before we get there with figuring out what the fudge is happening to Andromeda.
Yeah. I'm gonna body check Sirius on our way out and just be like, "What kind of father are you?"
You know what? Actually,
small,
we can.
But she's mighty.
Since we're in the moment, like he will, when you do that, he responds to you by saying, "She needed to overcome her burden." I was letting her do that.
Seems the only burden.
And then
she
around
has
the time
is having
that
you as a
happens,
father.
he waves his hand, and she like freezes in time. No bleeding, no movement, no breathing. But he very clearly intimates, no, I needed her to say that herself.
Oh, because he couldn't say it?
There it
Yeah.
is.
I'm not going to say that out loud, and I'm not going to acknowledge him. But all right.
He's bound by duty, but she hasn't technically pledged her servitude yet.
All right.
It's still a little more complicated than that, but we can explore that next time.
Next time, in 2 weeks.
In
But-
2 weeks.
But Zell, is that how you expected the feast to go down?
Actually, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I figured. You gave me a target.
I did very
you gave
clearly.
me a giant red target.
Gold.
I wasn't
target.
sure. I wasn't sure if anybody was going to shoot at it, or if somebody was going to just like yell objection. I was honestly good either way.
Oh, I should have done a one of my trick shots, piercing shot, and I should have shot through the soup to hit Savi.
Whew. That would have been a trick shot.
That would have been a very difficult roll, I think.
Yeah.
I think you chose correctly because we would have lost the
Yeah, but could I do it?
opportunity.
Could I do it? Let's see if I would have done it. I would have done it
All
with
right, try
this.
Yes!
Yeah, you hit the pot. Then you would have to roll at disadvantage to hit Savi.
Yep,
Let's see it.
which I would have done.
Oh!
He would have got
Wow.
Maybe.
You know, honestly,
I don't know what the AC of a god is. So
I wouldn't have taken that away from you.
nice,
And you would have done 12 damage. I like it.
60.
nice.
6 damage. Oh no!
14.
Amazing.
7.
12 to the soup, 14 to Savi.
So, but I mean, look, your way is still very cool. Let no one take that away from you.
It's true. I liked what I did.
That was pretty
Yeah.
epic.
I hope you guys had a good time. I'm serious. I've been looking forward to this feast for a year.
And we
Right, like,
did
this was one of-
it!
This was one of those scenes that when I put the campaign together, I was like, I want to envision this scene, and it went phenomenally.
And this is amazing.
It went better than I
hardware.
planned.
I love it.
All of the side conversations were fun things to add that were like addressing side stories and things that happened in the campaign. We got to see some returning faces. Like, this was a good way for this campaign to go.
Agreed. That was a lot of
And
fun.
we figured out who Batman is.
I mean, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
I figure we did.
I mean, I feel like you're never actually going to tell us, so I think we solved it.
Yeah, we solved it.
I'm really excited to tell you a lot of things after the next session.
Listen,
That's
he bolted straight upright. That little man, the little draconic man, popped right up, and he was ready to fight, throw fists. That's Batman right there.
Yeah.
Batman would do that.
Batman would do that. I'll give you that.
His butt muscles don't match.
I will give you a firm examination of his butt muscles at the end of the next session too. But also,
there's a detailed drawing of it.
I'm sure there is. I will have it
Please
ready
mark
for
it
you
as
just
a
in case.
spoiler
Please
so
don't.
I don't have to see it if I don't want to.
I don't want to see it either.
I know that in Try's campaign, he was very open about, hey, the last thing I like to do is we do a big arena fight. The big thing I like to do at the end is just have a Q&A at the end. Like,
Nice.
here's everything that you have been asking questions about. Do you have anything else? Here's maybe like one or two things that I wanted to tell you guys. So look forward to that at the end of the next session as well.
Excellent. I look forward to finding out
Nice.
what happened to the Emerald Dawn.
And no Goblamo.
And no Goblin.
No
Yeah,
Goblin.
absolutely.
And who Maria is.
Those are all good questions, and some of those, actually, I can think of one of those that you might get the answer to before the end of the session.
Excellent. Okay, great.
It depends on, I don't know. It depends on some character choices.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Yeah.
Good night.
Have a good night, everyone.